All right, we are here with Kelsey Coan, a young up-and-coming country singer. How you doing today, Kelsey?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. So I wanted to discuss a little bit about your career. I've interviewed you before about a year and a half ago, and one of the interesting things that came out of that interview was that you originally started in hip-hop. Tell us about that.
Okay, well, I was a lot younger back then, obviously, and I was influenced by other people who wanted to write songs for me, and they were all into that pop hip hop scene. And I was like, okay, I'll try and get into it. And I did it, but after a while, I noticed that my heart really wasn't into it, and I wasn't really performing when I went out and signed those songs. But then I heard some country music, not the older music. I never really liked country music when I was younger because it was all that, my dog died, my girlfriend broke up with me, pickup truck and all that kind of stuff. And
Yep.
I never really liked it that much, but then I got into the more modern country, and it's more the Miranda Lambert, Carrie Underwood, Luke Bryan type of stuff. And I like my favorite thing about country music is the story behind the lyrics and the song and fully experiencing the song. Like there's meaning behind it and you go through this whole story and it feels like you're part of it. So that's my all-time favorite thing about country music. And then I like the more rock edge because I'm more into like the more heavy rock. I like the Avenged Sevenfold and Five Finger Death Punch and like Breaking Benjamin and all that type of stuff. So
Wow. I'm trying to picture you at a Five Finger Death Punch concert. Would you be in the back row, kind of just enjoying the music and hanging out and dancing, or would you be in the pit? Because it's hard for me to picture you in the pit unless there's a side of Kelsey Coan we don't know about.
well, there's a question first because I've never actually been to a concert. So
Okay.
yeah. So what exactly is the pit?
Okay, well, the mosh pit is basically when you go to these concerts, if you're in the front like 15 rows, you'll end up, now, you being a female, you'll probably be protected by the guys around you, but you might end up in something called a mosh pit, which is where everybody just jumps and slams into each other during the music. And just thrashes and I almost got killed in a mosh pit once when I went to a show by a group called The Living End, and if it wasn't for a 6'9" tall huge mountain of a man pulling my little 5'10" rear end out of that mosh pit, I would probably not be talking to you today. But
Oh my gosh.
but it is an intense experience. So I would guess if you did go to a Five Finger Death Punch concert, you would probably be in the balcony or the mezzanine, knowing that information.
Well, even knowing that, I mean, I think I'd be cool with being in the front. I like being like front and center, and even though I seem like my voice, I sound like a 3-year-old, and I don't really look like someone that would be into that type of music or like someone that would, get hyped up for that. But I definitely think I'd be able to fit in once I was there.
Oh man, so you're a straight out rock chick, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's great. That's what I like to find out in interviews. I don't want to know the pre-canned, yes, my music, just that. I want to know who you are. Like the last interview we talked about your love of mashed potatoes. Is that still something you love? I'm mashed potatoes and the other foods we talked about.
Yeah, I still like them. I'm still very picky. But I actually tried, I was very picky and I didn't like eating hamburgers. Like I wouldn't touch them. But I would eat like meatloaf and meatballs and stuff like that. But then I was at my sister's house, and her and her husband were making food, and it was hamburgers, and I was starving, and they were like, okay, well, this is all you're going to get. So you eat this or nothing. So I tried it, and I actually really like hamburgers now. Like, I am, like, obsessed with them. So if I ever go out to eat...
I can relate. I come from an area of the world that has apparently the best hamburgers in the world, a place called In-N-Out Burger. Have you ever have they made their way out to you're from Jersey, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so have they made their way out to Jersey, or are you more of a Five Guys type of gal?
I've heard of In-N-Out Burger, but I've never seen one. So I don't think it's in Jersey, but I'm probably wrong because I don't really get out much. I actually tried Five Guys once before, and I went nuts over it. But you see, again, I'm picky because I only eat it where it has to be only the bun, the burger, the cheese, and bacon. That's the only way I will eat it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, I've known girls like you. I actually went out with one who she had a special order for everything. It blew my mind. She would order a hamburger just like you described, only she would order soggy bacon. She made a point that the bacon had to be soggy.
I am the complete opposite. I like my bacon like burnt almost. I like it really crispy.
Oh, there you go. So then you would be the opposite, but still you're like, nuke that stuff, make that bacon super crispy. I want it to be, I want it to basically be char. And she was like, no, I like it a little bit on the lighter side of cooked, but yeah, I am very familiar with picky eaters. My 6-year-old is a picky eater, and she's just starting to eat things other than chicken nuggets and ice cream, so I get it.
That's awesome.
But in any case, it sounds like you've really grown since the last time we spoke. Last time we spoke, you were 17, I believe, and I had trouble wrapping my mind around that because I don't think of 17-year-olds having the poise and composure and the ability that you do. So now that you're older, what's gone on since the last time we spoke? Of course, we only have a set amount of time, but what has gone on since the last time we spoke in about late 2014, early 2015?
Well, as you said, obviously I was a lot younger. I was about 17. Mm-hmm. I just started out in like solo stuff that was more my lane, which is the country rock. And I guess from then I've grown a lot in experience on stage. I've become a lot more comfortable, and I'm able to actually talk and interact with people when before I was just like, hi, and then I would just start singing because I'd be afraid to talk. But
I could just imagine that. Hi, everybody. Are you ready to hear me?
It didn't even get to that point. Like I would literally be like, "Hey, everyone, this is my song," and then it would start playing.
But that's adorable, though. That's cute. Now, but now you're more like forceful. You're more like, "How y'all doing out there?" Right?
Yeah, like. Especially within the past year, I've been able to start interacting because I'm a very self-conscious person, which is hilarious for someone who has to go up on stage and sing and like talk to people. But I think I've grown mostly in that aspect, being able to go up there and be like, hey, how's everyone doing? That kind of stuff, and be able to interact and get people to, answer, and if they are like, I'll be like, let me ask that question again. How's everybody doing? And like actually be able to like have fun on stage and have people have fun with me and get them to interact and be part of it. So that's oh, thanks. I try. I mean, I need to start getting a little more out there. But I'm trying. I've progressed a lot within the past 2 years, but I'm getting there.
you're coming out of your shell. It sounds like you're growing from a girl up on stage to a woman who's confident in her abilities. Do you think that's got it, or is it just, the more gigs you play, the more comfortable you get, or do you feel a growth that's happening?
I think it's pretty much all of that put together. I mean, between me personally being able to actually start talking to people, even on like a general level, like after I go and perform and then I come off stage and someone comes up to me and starts talking and stuff. Before I was like, hi, okay. And like, I was very like inward. I was like, I wouldn't say fake, but like, I was very smiley and I didn't really know what to say. And I would just laugh. Now I'm actually interacting and, talking and being myself. And I'm not really like that young little, just starting off little girl anymore. I'm trying to.
The business has hardened you. It's
just a little bit.
It's made you a little bit different. So that's an interesting point. You did say a little bit. Have you had some negative experiences? I don't like to dwell on the negative, but the music business, I know I've been in it for 21 years. The music business is heartbreaking. So have you had some instances where you've had to toughen up, where you've had to gain some extra grit? Tell us about those if you've had them.
I mean, of course, with everyone, especially women who are in the music business, there's always some kind of negativity or always something that might come up that isn't really what you wanted. But, I mean, you always get through it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to answer that.
Well, is it like, okay, now I am speaking from a place of ignorance. Me being a male, me being a drummer, not being somebody who's up front singing to people. I could always kind of hide in the back. But is it the lack of, like, do you feel people don't take you seriously as a female, or do you feel that especially guys are like just watching you because you're a girl up on stage? Have you run into any of that?
Well, kind of, a little bit within the past couple of years. I mean, some guys are like, hey, yeah, I like your music. And then they're like, hey, why don't you go out with me? And I'm like, no thanks. It's like they use music, which is my passion. It's what I want to do. And they use that and go and like try and find their way in.
That's terrible. That's terrible. These guys, granted, I've always been a fan of the female lead singer. Me being, I guess, a male and terrible, I've always been a fan of the female lead singer, but I would never have the moxie to go up and ask her out. It would just be kind of like, whoa, that's cool, But yeah, that's got to be annoying. I mean, just guys coming up like, hey, I really like your music, and what are you supposed to do? Like, oh, thank you. Okay, let's go out. What are you supposed to do with that? But yeah, so it sounds like you've had some challenges along the way, but you've also had some really good things happen. You now have the Kelsey Coan band.
Yes, and I'm so excited.
Okay, tell us how that happened. I mean, you not only are you Kelsey Coan, but you have a band. I mean, it's like,
I know.
It's a big deal. How did that happen?
Well, a lot of venues, some that I went to and some that wanted me, they said they love me, they love my music, they love the inspiration behind my songs, but a lot of the places required a band. A lot of people, and I completely understand this, a lot of people don't want someone up on stage, just one person singing off backtracks, because that for me isn't even fun, like being either the performer or someone watching someone. Mm-hmm. I think it's a little boring. It's a lot more fun